Does the state you live in impact your income and lifestyle? A recent article in Kiplinger ranks Minnesota towards the top as one of the highest tax states in the country. We come in at number 6, according to that list, and what may come as little surprise to many of us, it seems. Our Alpha Money expert, Mike Koinen from Principal Preservation Services, joins us now to take a closer look at the taxes that are sending some Minnesotans now elsewhere. Hi, Mike. Good to see you.
Hi, Liz. Doing awesome. Good to be here again.
I want to start with Social Security and pensions.
Yeah, Minnesota is one of 12 states that still taxes Social Security. Many states have eliminated taxes altogether. Originally, it wasn't to be taxed back when it was enforced, back in 1937. Now, they did give some tax breaks a little over a year ago. Single income earners of $82,000 a year, a little over $82,000, or couples of $105,000. Anybody below that, they won't pay taxes. Above that, you will still pay taxes. So it's nice they give some tax breaks to some, not to everybody. I wish they'd get on board with most states and eliminate them altogether for the state of Minnesota. But people who fall above that, you're going to be paying another $200 to $500 a month in extra taxes just on Social Security. And when it comes to pensions, a lot of states have adopted as well. It's 12 states still taxes pensions, or 38 states have given pensions totally tax-free, or some substantial breaks where maybe they don't tax 50% or 75% of their pensions, or up to a certain level. So because it's Social Security and pensions are being taxed heavily here in Minnesota, that's allowing people to kind of look other states for a little bit more friendly taxation in retirement.
Everybody's moving to Florida, Texas, Arizona.
Yeah, there's those states, those zero tax states, or very low tax states, are being very attractive. And it's not just the taxes, but then when you couple, well, I don't have the tough winters here anymore as well, that's a little bit extra benefit. I think we're seeing the numbers are 10 to 15% of retirees are being lost to these other states because of the taxation.
Now to income tax, where you say Minnesota ranks the 5th highest income tax state in the country. So we're top there too, Mike.
Yeah, we do. There are 4 different income tax brackets in Minnesota, and the top is almost 10%. It's 9.85%. So when you get to that top bracket, and you don't have to be millionaires to be in that bracket, you're just a couple $100,000 a year, you're in that bracket. And for a couple, it's not a big deal now for a couple to be making $250,000 combined these days. Well, you'd be paying about $1,600 a month more in taxes than a tax-free state. Or even if you're, a couple making $100,000 a year, you're still paying an extra about $625 a month in extra taxes that these zero tax states, obviously you don't have to pay any taxes on. So it's a big difference when it comes to that cost of living, what you get to keep out of your paycheck as opposed to having to pay the state.
And that cost of living part also costs a pretty penny to live in Minnesota, doesn't it?
It does. We look at property tax in Minnesota we're in the top half, not the worst, but 21st ranked out of 50 for property taxes, where a lot of states will actually put a freeze once you reach age 65. So they will not increase your property taxes in retirement. When you're on that fixed income, we've all heard stories where people retire and house is paid off, but they can't afford the taxes. Taxes jump up and up and up and up, and they have to sell their home because they can't even afford to pay the property taxes on their house. So that's tough. Healthcare costs are one of the higher states for healthcare in Minnesota. Then you look at utilities as well, is another issue here in Minnesota. So because of all these things compounding on one another, stacking up, people are looking more at other states. And again, when it comes to politics, that doesn't hurt. Some of the reasons why people leave as well. They're tired of the politics.
So I've heard. For those high-income earners, it's not cheap, though, to even pass on money in Minnesota.
Double taxation is really what it comes down to. It is this state tax. Minnesota is, again, one of very few states that taxes your estate upon death. So what happens is if you pass on with $3 million as a single person, or $6 million for a couple, they will tax up 13 to 16% of your estate on the state you already pay taxes on. So it's just a death tax is really what this is on your estate if you have a large estate. So for the wealthy, they're looking for other options. I meet with a lot of people in my office that are in Minnesota. They said, well, if I just move across the border, I don't have any estate tax. Not really changing your demographics too much, just a few miles east of the border. Now you don't have to pay those taxes.
Our Alpha Money expert, Mike Koinen, with Principal Preservation Services, with a location in Wisconsin. So that works out well here. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Thanks again, Liz. Appreciate it.